Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So in the past few days, many of our Wing Chun friends have contacted me and leave me message and so forth to discuss on mindfulness. And so today I like to share with you once for all on this mindfulness stuff. The notions is so that here on, after you watch this video, you'll be able to know what it is, you'll be able to develop it for your daily life, for your martial art, for your Qigong, for your work, for your fighting art. Mindfulness is the core of you. It is you. If you lose your mindfulness, you will get eaten alive by the artificial intelligence. Okay? So mindfulness is humans, uh, the precious treasure. Okay? You are mindfulness. However, today, this world is a very confusing world. What is being labeled as mindfulness is no longer mindfulness. The entire world filled with this mindfulness meditation, mindfulness this, mindfulness that. It is not mindfulness. It is something else. So that's why I need to clarify this for you once for all. Yes, it is very simple. It is not complex at all. Now, so after this YouTube, you will know what is mindfulness. And just hope that you're going to use it here on for your daily living, for your Wing Chun, for your Qigong, for your health, for everything. So, yes, if you want to study like Qigong, you talk about like the Shen, the Jing, the Qi. You need the mindfulness as prerequisite. If you don't have the mindfulness, everything is just very superficial stuff. Now, humans are born unequal. We like it or not, that is the truth. In terms of mindfulness, if you look at people like, say, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or Elon Musk, or any top artist, top engineer, top military people, they are born with a mindfulness which is uh, more in a higher level. because people with a high level of mindfulness, that is the base of how they can have a lot of achievement. They can see things you cannot see. They can do things you cannot do if you are not in their level of mindfulness. But we are born unequal. We are like that. However, mindfulness can be trained, can be uh, improved. So if you have a competitor, you want to be able to compete with him, the first thing what you need to know is you need to raise your mindfulness to his level, or else forget about it. You will never defeat him. Okay? So that is about mindfulness, and it is so important thing. Now let's look into what is this mindfulness, because if we want uh, to study it, to practice it, to improve our mindfulness, we need to know where this come from. What is this about? It cannot be Hendrik's definitions, according to Hendrik, according to the Supreme Grandmaster Hendrik. It cannot be like that. We need to know where it's from. Mindfulness in Pali is called sati, S-A-T-I. That is the core of the Buddha's teaching. The foundations of the teaching of Buddha is satipatthana. Meaning you're mindful of your body, you're mindful of your feeling, your sensations, you're mindful of your mind, you're mindful of all the phenomena. That is the Buddha's teaching. It is not a philosophy. If you follow the instruction, you develop your sati or your mindfulness. You follow the Buddha's instructions on the satipatthana, you will be able in a short time to see that this world is impermanent and there's no self. Meaning you be able to achieve that mindful state. Okay? So that is the truth. So when you want to talk about mindfulness, you need to follow what is in the teaching of the Buddha. It means sati. Okay? And sati as in the practice of the satipatthana. Okay? We need to follow that, or else we are talking nonsense that go nowhere. Those who is enlightened in Zen, they have extraordinary mindfulness, sati. So yes, you might be born with it, and however you can develop it, or grow it, or nurture it. So Zen master, the Zen monk, the real Zen monk, have this really extraordinary sati. Okay. So That's Buddhist stuff. You want to remember that when we want to study something, we need to go to the root. We cannot just define whatever we want. That's only screw us. And at the end, you get nothing. And the Taoists, for thousands of years since the Buddha's teaching get into the China, is influenced by the Buddha's teaching. Like the practice of anapanasati, mindful of your breathing. That is the base of most Qigong, most martial art on aware of their breathing. So if you want to get into the state like the Secret of Golden Flower book, the Taoist book on breathing and mind mutual dependent, of course you need to have the sati. If you don't have the sati develop, forget about it. You will be always absent-minded. And just to share with you, so that you can remember on this sati and all the Zen master, the real Zen master, what they have in the sati. I tell you a story, okay? So you know how their mind is, how they have the sati, they are mindful, okay? So the story actually is an incident. I was there. It is at this meeting, me participate in a meeting of the lay Buddhists with my late teacher, Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua. If I am not wrong, it is in Burlingame, that hall, okay, the lecture hall. So Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua is sitting like in the middle. In the side, there is monk, okay, American monks, Buddhist monks, who is his disciple. And then the lay people and all of us there. So we are chatting. We have really casual, really friendly, very fun chatting. So everybody is very happy and talk. And it turns out that one guy, one of the lay people, want to uh, pass the money he collect to the late Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua. So he passed from one side of the hall to somebody, and somebody took it and then, get it to the Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua. So while in the passing, when it get close to Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua, a monk sitting beside Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua is taken the money and pass it to Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua, like, hey, people passing this while we are talking, passing this and get to Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua. Right away, when the monk took the money, before he give to the Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua, Zen Patriarch Xuan Hua asked the monk, don't you take the precept of not touching money? So that is a story of mindfulness. We always get into confusions. We don't even know what is going on. The monk is very diligent person who practice what he vowed to do, a Buddhist monk. But even him, you see, after it is like a monk for a decade and so forth, still took that money unconsciously try to give it to, want to give it to Zen Patriarch Shenhua. Okay? So there is story of the Zen monk like Zen Patriarch Shenhua, even though there's all kinds of things around, he remained really clear in his mind. As us, the usual people, ordinary people, it's easy for us to lose it, lost the mindfulness, lost the sati. Okay, so now you know this story, let's get into it. Just hopefully some days you will be like Zen Patriarch Shenhua too. Why? Because if you want to be a CEO, don't you supposed to have that type of mind, that type of mindfulness? Disregard of how people play around with logics and so forth, you can see through. Okay? So that is the mindful, the sati in Zen. So Zen means directly pointing at the moon. They have that sati. If they don't have the sati, forget about it. It's not philosophy. So now you know what is mindful in today. You know where's mindful come. And when you want to study real mindful sati, you need to go to check into the Buddha's teaching. Satipatthana or Anapanasati. Okay? Don't follow Hendrik or somebody else. In the Buddha's teaching, it said, follow the Dharma, not follow the people. Because the Buddha have attained Buddhahood, enlightenment via that sati. So he tell you clearly how to do it, not Hendrik or Hendrik interpretations. Okay, so today I'm sharing this with you is only to pointing you that you be able to track this thing down. In fact, when you study all the ancient Chinese stuff, including Wing Chun, you need to get to the root, or else, who know what is it? Okay, the third one. So what is sati? Mindful. So clear in the mind. It turns out that it is inherent in all of us. It is just that some of us is habitually having it, and most of us habitually don't have it. So what is mindfulness? So let's experience it. Mindfulness is just aware on a single thing more than 15 seconds. That is mindfulness. Aware on an object more than 15 seconds is the really basic definitions of sati. Really kindergarten sati, kindergarten mindfulness. But right now you can actually experience it. Stop this video now. Go to your fridge, take a piece of, say, apple or pizza or whatever. You take a bite and pay attention to what you are chewing for more than 15 seconds. That is mindfulness. That is what sati is. It is not like us usually. We eat pizza, a slice of pizza, take the first bite, and then mechanically continue to eat it. We don't even know what the heck we're eating. So, oh yeah, pizza, eat. We don't know the texture, we don't know the taste, we don't know the temperature of that of that pizza we eat. We have no idea what it is. We just say, well, you will eat it. And then maybe we are talking with somebody. And then before we know, we finish that pizza. That is an example of daily no mindfulness, no sati. Okay? So it is just this simple. The training, the development of the mindfulness of sati is whatever you do, you put your mind on it, you're aware on it for at least 15 seconds or longer. You train it, you keeping train it, train it, train it. So that you don't just bite a piece, bite the pizza, and then, oh yeah, oh hi, oh hi, your mind is somewhere else. You say, well, I know I'm eating pizza, but sorry, you don't know. That is not mindfulness. You got it? So you can stop this video, go to your fridge or somewhere else, or get a piece of chocolate. You just chew it, eating it for 15 seconds. Do nothing but just aware of that eating. What are you tasting? How is it? What is it? Okay. So it is with the sati, the Buddha instruct one when they practice satipatthana, we're using the sati to mindful on their body, their sensations or feeling, their mind, the phenomenons around. Be able to see, hey, how come I don't see this before? Mind, thought come and goes. You cannot hold a thought too long. It come and goes. Emotion come and goes. They're using the sati like the laser to see all this thing. Okay? So sati, mindful, is just this simple. Now, so how do we practice that? How do we practice that? And some friend asked me, like from Wing Chun, oh, uh, can we practice Xiu Lim Tao like we practice Qigong? Or can we practice Xiu Lim Tao this way to develop internal power? The first thing you need to ask yourself is, have you developed the sati on, like the Buddha teach, on your body, on your feeling, on your mind or thoughts, on the phenomenon? Have you trained in that way in the really kindergarten level? Not talking about the Buddha's satipatthana. When you get into you can get into the level of stream entry or sotapanna. Okay, those are advanced stuff. So I have make it simple for you to develop your Xiu Lian Tao. The core of it. If you want to develop your Xiu Lian Tao or any martial arts or any Qigong, the first thing you need to do is to be able to aware of your six core element and the states in it. For example, the six core element is your body, your mind, your breathing, your chi flow, your strength handling, and your momentum. You need to be able to be mindful on each of the six core elements, each of it. So if you really be able to practice mindful on it, it's like you implant sensor in today's language, putting sensor in each element. So simultaneously, you are aware of the entire six core element in the same time. So when you practice Xu Lim Tao, even though your hand is just like doing the Sampai Fat, the entire six core element is there. However, for most of it, you cannot do it. That's why you need to go for one by one element. You need to be able to aware or mindful of every element to start with. Start with your physical element, go to your mind element, get to your breathing element, and so forth, so forth. So it's like every element you put a sensor in it. Okay? So the easiest way to develop this kindergarten but legit mindfulness is to get this book, do the exercise of observation inside there. It might take 2 hours per day, 2 months. You know, I have classes for that. But after you go 2 months, you will be mindful. You have the taste, you have developed the mindfulness of it. For example, just take a snapshot of this page. It's called open. Open. Okay, take a snapshot. So this is the state of the physical. Open means let every part of the physical body unwrap itself naturally. The following is an exercise for experience the open up or unwrapping the body part. That is a mindfulness training on your physical. Okay? So if I continue to read, it said this. After completing the above aware exercise, you know, the exercise prior to this, continue and laying down comfortably and quietly on the bed. So you lay on the bed. Stay in the positions for 5 to 10 minutes without moving any parts of your body. Let all joints and muscles relax and unwrap themselves. Observe how the body unwraps by itself and identify the state of this unwrapping or opening. This is the open state. So you lay on the bed. You do nothing. You're just aware of your entire body. You're just aware of your entire body. Over here, it said how long? 5 to 10 minutes. Remember we said mindfulness is you're aware of something more than 15 seconds. Over here, this process, it takes 5 to 10 minutes. You do nothing but aware of your body, how the body change, how the body, over here, he said that, let all joints and muscle relax and unwrap itself. Observe how the body unwrap by itself and identify this state of this unwrapping or opening up. So this is to train you to develop your mindfulness on your entire body, to see how the body be able to unwrap itself without you using your intention to do anything. Now, if you keep practicing this, And this opening is just the first state. After the opening, you have the link state. And then you have the light state. You have deeper and deeper state. However, you need to aware of the very basic surface thing first of your body. And that is actually when you inject or you develop your mindfulness with your physical, that is where you achieve getting into the physiological state of open. That is mindfulness. Okay? Now, after you go through the body, the physical body, the mind, the breathing, the force, and the momentum. Say, talk about force. The force is mindful of how the action and reaction force inject directly or spiraling or how deep it go. All of this is mindful. And of course, the entire six core element is just one human action, right? The six core element is just you break into six pieces so that we be able to to work with one element at one time. So once you go through the six, it become integrate back to one. Like you are installing sensor to different room of your house. After you install in all the room in your house, it is one house. All this room is belong to one house, the same with the six core element. So you have the mindfulness. That's how you develop the basic mindfulness of your entire body. Okay? And there's no magic there. And if you want to develop Qi, it is in my book, Wing Chun Inception. Say, for example, you take a snapshot on this step 2. Here you say that pay attention to the buttocks area. Leave them alone and wait a little while for the weight in this area to settle. That's still mindfulness. You use the mindfulness, get into the silence, and over there, you nurture your energy. So you need all this mindfulness. Okay? Without you train that way, you will not be able to, to get into the state. So if you train that way, say when you do the Xiu Lim Tao, people sometimes asking, oh, can I use this like some Bai Fat to train like the Qi exercise or anything? Well, what is not Qi exercise? If you have the mindfulness of the six core element, everything is Qi. Why? Because Qi is a part of the human body, isn't it? Your physical, your mind, your breathing, your Qi, your strength, your momentum. When the body goes, everything goes. So if you have the mindfulness, you are every day trained with the Qi. If you don't have mindfulness, you don't even know what it is. Right? That's how simple it is. The issue is that you don't have the in-depth mindful or sati training to be able to see what it is. Like there's fingers, right? If I'm the baby, I'm not mindful of my fingers. I just mindful of the entire thing as one piece, then I don't know how to use my finger. But if you want to use your finger, then you have to be mindful of everything, like the baby, playing with your hand. There is a training. There's human. There's us. There's the human. So the person who had mindfulness, like I shared with you on the writing of 1850s Xiu Lin Tao. If you have mindfulness, that writing is telling you, when you do this thing, what happened with different parts of your body. What is this for? What is it? What is the state? And so forth, so forth. The entire Xiu Lin Tao is a mindfulness training. Okay? Now, hope that share with you. It is not, oh, I do the Sampai I have to do it this way, that way, that way. You are not mindfulness if you do that. You are mindful of who you are actually remember, or you are confused, or try to mimic somebody's teaching, instruction. You are not mindful of your body. If you are mindful of your body, you actually aware of your six core element. You don't just hold your hand like this. You say, oh, my teacher told me this have to be, this Sampai have to do this way. Our lineage have to do this way, that way, that way. Well, all those are actually opposite of the mindfulness. It is become a brainless mechanical action. Yet, Xiu Lin Tao is teaching you to mindful of your entire body. Remember, you want to sense things. Your eyes need to be able to see things, to know the environment, your body be able to sense and everything. You are developing this mindfulness of everything while everything in dynamic motion. It's not, I have to be this. My elbow has to be this. Come on. Not to mention, even if you do this 3 times, the Sampai 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Do you mindful that every time when I do that that Sampai actually thing changes? Many friends, when you do Sampai, the first time you do in this angle, and then the second time you say, well, I need to go to that angle and that angle. Those are not mindfulness. Those are your mind is try to control things. You're not aware of your motions, your hand, your six core element. Yet the guy who doing it is actually mindful of the entire body when they do this. They are mindful of the six core element of the entire body. You're going to fight somebody like that, guarantee you when at touch, you lost control already. Why? Because you don't train in what they train in their body. So it's just like our friend in jiu-jitsu, every day rolling in the ground, okay? Rolling in the ground, mindful on what they are doing in the ground. And if we have never been in the ground, we don't even know what it is. We're keeping thinking, oh, if you do this, I'm going to do this. If you do this, I'm do this. You're not even mindful of what is going on. How are you going to fight them? We're not talking about grandmaster. We're talking about you are absent-minded. You're absent-minded because you're keeping thinking something. And yet those who put their mind, their awareness more than 15 seconds on whatever they do, they develop that insight inside there. They see things clearly. They see how they can handle or manual things which you don't even see. So there's mindfulness. Okay? Now, Finally, we train in Wing Chun. Are you going to be a warrior? Have you seen anybody is warrior for past 60 years since Bruce Lee's time in Wing Chun? Who is warrior? You actually don't see which is Wing Chun warrior. But what happened? Human need to live in everyday life. If you develop this mindfulness, you're going to be able to use it daily. Remember, the mindfulness training of Wing Chun is just a subset or a kindergarten versions of the Buddha's teaching of Satipatthana. If you keeping practice your Xiu Lim Tao mindfulness way, when your emotion come up, you can see your emotion. Say your anger come up. You can see that anger like raining. Okay? So raining come and goes. You have no control, right? Emotion also come and goes. You have no control because a lot of things is habitual. It's not your mind can handle that. But you can train yourself. If you, as soon as you are mindful, you do not following him or following it. For example, if I see raining today, if because of I see raining, I get into mellow depressions. And the rest what I'm doing all the day is this depression stuff. Do I have a choice? Sure. A rain is a rain. Rain can let it rain. I can do whatever I want. Rain doesn't mean that I have to kick myself into the depressions. Same thing. When anger come up habitually, it's very uncomfortable inside there, the feeling. But you know the anger can come, can go. You don't get driven by this anger to do all kind of stuff. The reason why we get screwed up is because when the anger come up, the anger become the directions of how we do things. We no longer mindful when the anger come up. So watch out for yourself. You see, sometimes that's why the Buddha trained his monk. When anger come up, I am mindful of my anger. I just mindful of it. And then after a while, the anger go away. It fade away. And you say impermanent. After a few times of that, this is impermanent. Anger is not me. Anger is not going to justify my directions of what I need to do. Anger is anger. And because anger is anger, it is impermanent. I don't have to follow that anger. But the people who do not have that training, that mindfulness training of their feeling, like in the Satipatthana or in the Xiu Lim Tao, when the anger rise up, right away you jump the wagon and then you just go with it. Like want to discharge this anger, doing whatever to discharge this anger. So, for example, you go to a sparring. The opponent is so fierce, and your fear come up. If you are mindful, you say, "Oh, my fear come up. This is my the fear come up." Fear is not me. I don't have to respond. I'm okay with the fear. And you look at the opponent, you say, he's just acting. I do whatever I need to do. Disregard of whether he's acting nice or acting angry or acting like a behave like a tiger. Because what I need to deal with is what? His momentum. I want to handle his momentum. It doesn't matter how he looks like. So that's how people have a cold mind in the fight. So they look at in the mindful snapshot, the sati is see where one can attack. Now, for us who never train, we saw, oh man, he's so aggressive, he's so angry, he's so fierce. I get scared. And then I say, oh my God, I'm going to punch him harder. Okay, at that point, you got a problem. You lost your mindfulness. You lost the entire thing. You trapped in your sensations and in your mind already. But the guy who are mindfulness say, okay, my fear come up. I know his fear come up. Okay, he's acting. Okay, his momentum is this. He's big. He's gonna charge in linearly. I'm going to do concess without concessions. I'm going to struck him. Oh, he's a tall guy. I'm going to go down and take his leg. Execute. It's cold. Okay. And in the same time, it's in the daily life, right? Sometimes people say something in the daily, like for example, like you go to a parking lot, there's a space, and when you want to go in and another lady zoom in, your anger come up. Oh, it's mine, right? But then if you have a mindfulness, you just look at it. My anger come up. Why is okay to let him have it? I go for another one. No sweat. You settle the entire thing. Your way, right? If you if the lady get the car in and then you stop there and then you end up quarrel there, you don't have your way. Even worse, if you crash her car or she crash your car, then you have to get insurance company to come in and then you mess up your entire day. So you lost control. So the mindfulness, why the Buddha teaching the satipatthana and using the anapanasati to develop the sati, the stability of sati, the samatha and the vipassana is so that you are mindful all the time. You're aware of. That's called liberations. Of course, I'm not there. I just share with you what I see from my teacher. I learn from the sutta. Okay, I'm no grandmaster. Now, I choose to share with you today is so that I just hope that more and more people know this. More and more people develop that. Because now we are in a crisis now. You look at how much crime happened in the news. It's like everybody is agitated. And you see the AI coming in. You can see, oh, how many thousand people get laid off. Well, if we don't train our mindfulness, how can we go beyond AI, go beyond all these agitations and make it right? We can. So the final word I want to give you is sati is you. You can lose everything. However, as soon as you can bring back your sati, you can rebuild it. That's the teaching of Buddha. Sati is awareness, right?